Greetings and salutations. We continue our study of Greek by turning to some practice examples from Lesson 5. So let's turn there to example number 1, Dikaios kai hagios hakurios tu uranu. So notice right off the bat, I have adjective, noun, noun. This is my nominative, singular, masculine, noun from kurios. And because this is a masculine singular nominative, because it's nominative, it's going to be my subject. But you might be saying, well, Tyler, look, I've got a nominative adjective, and I've got another nominative adjective. And oh, by the way, these are also masculine. And we know that nouns are modified by adjectives that are in the same case, number, and gender. And these are all nominative, singular, masculine adjectives that modify a masculine singular noun, and the only masculine singular noun is ha kurios, the Lord. So these adjectives are referring to the kurios, but I don't have a definite article in front of dikaios or hagios, and so these are not attributing righteous and holy to the Lord. These are predicating that the Lord is righteous and holy. But I can't just rush and go, okay, righteous and holy is the Lord is the Lord. I've also got the Lord of heaven. So I have this genitive phrase, genitive, masculine, singular, noun, heaven, uranu. And because hakurios is my subject, I'm going to move it to first position, the Lord. Because in English, we're a subject, verb, object language. So the Lord, and which Lord am I talking about? It's the Lord of heaven. Now, I could literally translate this, the Lord of the heaven. That would be fine too. But typically, we're going to translate this in English, the Lord of heaven. And that's a stylistic choice. It's not like it's more correct to leave out the definite article. It's just an English versus Greek stylistic difference. The Lord of heaven is dikaios kai hagios, is righteous, dikaios, and holy. Now, why am I putting is when I don't have a be verb? Because what I have is a predicate adjective, or two predicate adjectives. And I know they're predicate adjectives because they're adjectives that agree in case, number, and gender with the hakurios, the noun of the sentence, or one of the nouns in the sentence, but they also lack a definite article in front of them. So it's not the righteous and holy Lord, but the Lord is righteous and holy. And which Lord are we talking about? The Lord tu uranu, the Lord of heaven. Let's go to another example now. Sentence number 7 in the practice and review. Hoi nekroi uk ekusin doxon ugar blabusi ta agatha tes zoes. So I'm going to start by dividing my sentence at the comma in my first clause. Hoi nekroi uk ekusin doxon. And I'm going to notice hoi nekroi is in the nominative plural and it's masculine. And it's a noun. The dead, and really nekros, you could translate the corpses because it gets at the sort of the dead bodies themselves, not the concept of death, but the dead, the corpses. Uk ekusin. Ekusin here is our verb. It's a third person plural, present, active, indicative from echo, I have, o, ace, a, amen, edi, usi. So this is usi, and it's got that movable nu, so it's ekusin. The dead, and it's negated by uk, do not have doxon, and notice this doxon is accusative, singular, from doxa, glory, do not have glory. Why? Gar, for, and notice that's a postpositive preposition, for ou blepusi, they do not see ta agatha tes zoes. Now, ta agatha could be nominative or accusative. It's plural and it's neuter. So if it's nominative, it's the good things do not see. But I think in the context of the sentence, carrying over from the previous sentence, the dead do not have glory, the subject of blepusi contextually is most likely to be the subject from the previous clause, the hoi necroi, the dead. The dead do not have glory. And we're getting the explanation, why don't the dead have glory? Because they, that is the dead, do not see ta agatha, the good things of life. And notice this is a substantival use of the adjective. We're talking about the adjective as the direct object of what it is the dead do not see. They do not see the good things of life. So here we have a good example of the substantive use of the adjective. Let's do one from the Septuagint. Agatha kai kaka zoe kai thanatos para kuriu estin. Agatha, good, kai kaka, evil, good and evil, zoe kai thanatos, life and death. So you have these polarities, these opposites. Good and evil, life and death, estin para kuriu, are from the Lord. Good and evil, life and death are from the Lord. And I'm saying from because para kuriu is from, estin is, but because I have these plural good and evil, life and death, I'm going to translate it good and evil, life and death. These together are from the Lord. All right, let's do a New Testament example. Matthew 25:21. Ephe autu hakurias autu. You dule agathe kai piste. This is from one of Jesus' famous judgment parables in Matthew 25. And our subject is kurios. And the Lord spoke to him. The Lord, subject, hakurios. The Lord of him, because this genitive modifies kurios. It's his Lord spoke to him good, usually ue, well done, dule agathe. This is the vocative. Good slave. Nope, not just good slave. Dule, good and faithful slave. Now, notably in this case, you have no definite articles. Okay, it's not the good slave, the faithful slave. You have the lack of the definite article, which is not typical, but it's just a way of saying, in this case, the adjectives are describing the dule, the slave. Well done, good and faithful slave. One other example from John 10:14, which gets at the use of the adjective. Ego emi hapoimen hakalas kai genosko ta ema kai genoskusi meta ema. Ego emi. I am the shepherd, the good one. but which we're going to translate in almost universally as, in most English translations, the good shepherd. So this is an attributive adjective. You have the definite article in front of good, and you have the definite article in front of shepherd. This is what's called the restrictive attributive adjective. You don't need to know the difference between restrictive and the other attributive adjectives, except to know that this is a point of emphasis. I am the good shepherd. And, kai, gnosko, and I know, though the mine, usually those who are mine, and mine know me. So the focus here is on this, the good shepherd, in this adjective. So this is getting us down the line to get more comfortable with these adjectives. Start getting more comfortable seeing these definite articles in lesson 5 as we learn the definite article and the 3 main forms of the adjective. The attributive adjective, that is attributing a quality, the good shepherd. The predicate adjective, when you have these examples of, like we see in P&R number 1, the Lord is righteous and holy. That's the predicate adjective. So we've seen the attributive adjective, the predicate adjective, and then we also see the substantive adjective in the case of the good things of life that the dead do not see, because the good things is functioning in this case is basically our noun for our sentence. It's giving us a direct object, and instead of getting what is it that they don't see the good things as a general reference. So the good becomes a noun in and of itself.